Hi, scholars. This is Miss C, and it is reading time. I want you to shout, it's reading time. We'll be reading an engagement text and a decodable.
Materials.
So go ahead and put your thinking caps on. Ready? We have 3 new learning targets for today. Please follow along with me as I read them. Our first learning target says, using evidence from the text, I can answer questions about the text, it's raining. The second learning target says, I can read the high frequency words, everyone, everybody, where, your, people, afternoon, and snowflake. The last learning target says, I can read the decodable text, solid, liquid, or vapor.
Read aloud.
Listen carefully as I read today's engagement text, it's raining. Afterwards, I'll ask you some questions, so make sure you're listening. I'm water. I love raining down fast. Of course, I also like showering down in a nice light drizzle, or floating down as a soft snowflake, or storming down as an icy hailstone. I've done it all more times than you can count. Why, I sprinkled your grandparents when they were kids. I've soaked knights in shining armor. I've even drenched dinosaurs that lived millions of years ago. I may look dewy, young, and fresh, but I'm nearly as old as the earth. How did I do it? Well, the total amount of water on earth doesn't change, but water itself changes. It can be solid ice, wet liquid, or a gas called water vapor. You can't see, smell, or touch water vapor, but it's always in the air. Where does it come from? Heat changes liquid water to a gas or vapor. We say that the water evaporates. If you put a spoonful of water in a cup and place the cup on a sunny windowsill, you'll see that in a few hours, the cup will be dry. The hot sun heated the liquid water, changing it to water vapor. Heat from the sun evaporates surface water in oceans, puddles, and wet ground too. The water vapor goes into the air, where it gets pushed around by the wind and carried high into the sky. But the higher you go in the sky, the colder the air gets. When water vapor gets cold enough, you guessed it, it changes from gas to liquid. We say that it condenses. You can see for yourself. Fill a glass with some water and lots of ice. Wait a minute or two, then touch the glass. The drops of water on the glass are condensation. When water vapor in the air touched the cold glass, it changed into liquid. Have you ever seen your breath on a very cold day? That's condensation too. The cold changed the water vapor in your breath to a little cloud of tiny water droplets. High up in the sky, water vapor condenses into clouds of tiny water droplets too. But there are zillions of droplets in a cloud, each too teeny for you to see. Inside the cloud, the tiny droplets bump into one another and join together. They make bigger and bigger drops. When the drop gets big and heavy enough, the cloud can't hold them anymore. They fall out of the cloud as raindrops. If it is cold enough, the drops may freeze into ice instead and fall as snowflakes or hailstones. Back on Earth, some of the rain runs into streams or rivers that flow into the oceans. Some rain soaks into the ground and gets trapped in deep wells. And some rain collects in puddles. When each drop of surface water is heated by the sun, it will evaporate and the cycle will start all over again.
Question and answer.
Let's talk about what we just heard. My first question is, what changes liquid water to gas vapor? If you said heat, I want you to give yourself a silent celebration. My next question is, what do you think it means for liquid water to evaporate? When liquid water evaporates, it turns into vapor.
Word work.
It's time for us to look at some high frequency words and add them to our snap or trap chart. Here we go. The first word is everyone. In this word, we see two smaller words combined to make a compound word. The first word is every. That has all the sounds we'd expect. The second word is one. Starts with the letter O, but it sounds like W. That's tricky. So everyone goes in the trap column. Our next word is everybody. This word is similar to everyone. We already know that every is a snap. The second part, body, is a closed syllable followed by Y. Since this word has two syllables, we would expect that Y to make the long E sound. And it does. Everybody is a snap word. The next word is where. I see an open syllable, we. Next, an apostrophe, and the letters R-E. Make this a contraction for we are. This word is a snap. Our next word is your. This word is another contraction because it has that apostrophe. It has a tricky vowel team OU, which we learned says ow. But we don't hear that sound. So your is a trap word. Here's our next word. People. People has a consonant LE syllable at the end that sounds like pull, as expected. The first syllable, though, is tricky. We see an O, but we don't hear it. So we know people is a trap word. Next, we have the word afternoon. This is a compound word. The first smaller word, after, has a closed syllable, F, followed by an R-controlled syllable, ter. The second small word, noon, has a vowel team that we know should sound like ooh, and it does. Afternoon is a snap word. Here's our last word, snowflake. This is another compound word. The first part is snow. The vowel team OW can say ow or the long O, which it does here. The second part, flake, follows the rule of magic E syllables. Let's put snowflake in the snap column. Go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back for making it through the snap and trap activity.
Fluency.
Now, we will read our decodable reader, solid, liquid, or vapor. Try to remember these high-frequency words, and as we read together, jump up every time you hear one. The high-frequency words are everyone, everybody, where, your, people, afternoon, and snowflake. Watch for the blue underlines to help you know when to jump. Here we go. Everybody on earth uses water every day. We're surrounded by it. People drink it, water plants with it. Some people even swim underwater for fun. But does everybody know that water can change its shape? Starting from the top, we have the high frequency words, everybody, where, people, people, and everybody. Stay on the lookout for those blue underlines and make sure you jump every time you hear a high frequency word. Water has been on the earth forever, but water does not always look like the water you drink from a glass. This type of water is called a liquid. A liquid is wet, like the water a firefighter uses to put out a fire, or the water that crashes down a waterfall. Water can also be a solid. Solid water can be the ice cube you put in your drink in the summertime, or it can be the snowflakes that softly fall on a winter afternoon, or the hard hailstones that come down during a hailstorm. Water can also be a vapor. You cannot see or touch water vapor. Heat from the sun turns water from the earth into vapor. The vapor goes up into the sky. When the vapor gets cold again, it turns into rainfall. So, it changes back into a liquid. Okay, listen up, everyone. You're going to take a little quiz. Listen to the examples in each of the next 3 pages. Say what kind of water you would see: liquid, solid, or vapor. Example number 1. A woman is making coffee with very hot water. There is steam rising from the coffee pot. Is this steam, a liquid, a solid, or a vapor? Example number 2. A football team has a game on a very hot day. They buy a big bag of ice cubes to put in their cooler to keep the drinks cold. Is this bag full of a liquid, a solid, or a vapor? Here's another example. Example number 3. A girl has a garden with tall sunflowers. She takes a watering can out and waters the sunflowers. What would she use to water the plants? A liquid, solid, or vapor?
Closing reflection.
Which high-frequency words were not tricky for you to read? Which were tricky for you to read? You did a great job reading today. Don't forget to read for at least 20 minutes every single day. You are becoming a great fluent reader, and with practice, I know that you can get better. Keep up the good work, and I can't wait to see you next time.